I, Jerome Downey, a member in good standing of the Halifax Needham Liberal Association, am pleased to nominate Colin Coady to be the Liberal candidate for Halifax Needham. I'm a graduate of Mallison University, small business owner, steam fitter, pipe fitter by trade, and a second lieutenant in the infantry, an Army officer with the Princess Louise Fusiliers. I grew up in the North End my whole life, and I have known Colin, or CJ as I'd like to call him, for the better part of over 20 years. Our friendship goes back to high school and university, where we lined up side by side and played football for Nova Scotia and Canada Cup on various occasions. On 2 occasions off the field, and then also we lined up side by side as friends off. Colin is a person of unwavering integrity. He's positive, honest, patient, genuine. I couldn't think of a person with a better characteristics to be our community's representative in Nova Scotia legislature and to be forming part of the next provincial government. I know Colin has had just a passion for politics for some time, and it's his commitment to social justice, community, and reflecting those values of inclusion and cooperation that will assist him in becoming our next Liberal candidate for Halifax Needham, and hopefully our next MLA. Colin has been determined teammate, an authentic advocate, and loyal friend. He has my vote on Monday, and if he hasn't persuaded you already, I hope that after today's speeches, he will have your vote as well. As a parting note, I'd like to give my best to all candidates who have shown great courage putting their name into the ring. Melinda, Doug, Morgan, all exceptional candidates. I know this riding quite well. My grandfather, my family lineage in Halifax, Creighton goes back to 1912. It's a new day and an opportunity for us to move forward and move the needle. And I think that Colin has a lot of those qualities that will enable us to get forward. And so I like to, with that, give the floor to Colin and wish everyone all the best. Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Jerome, for that wonderful introduction and for moving me in this nomination. I'd also like to thank everybody tuning in today. Take some time out of your busy weekend to hear about the platforms and hear from the candidates. I think it's a great opportunity to hear from everybody, especially during this pandemic where we have had unprecedented tolls on our families, our businesses, our communities. This is the time where strong leadership is really important. And I can be that strong leader. I know that I've reached out to many of you over the past few weeks and had an opportunity to speak with a lot. I'm proud to have personally spoke to a number of people, learning about what's important to them, but also what's important to our community. For those who I've not had the opportunity to speak to, my name is Colin Coady, and I'm a lifelong resident of Halifax. I grew up in the West End, but I now call the North End home with my wife, Alexandria Barnes, and my dog, Boomer. I'd also like to start by saying thanks to Sean and Grace and all the people behind the scenes to make this possible today. I know it was a tremendous amount of work, and so I thank you. But I also, as Jerome had mentioned, want to thank all my fellow candidates because it's their hard work, dedication, and passion that has brought more people under the Liberal banner. And that is a win in itself for all of us, because at the end of the day, we are all Liberals working towards one goal. I am a criminal defense lawyer. I work for Nova Scotia Legal Aid. And since moving to the North End community, I have prided myself in being involved in the community in a number of different ways. I've been involved with the Nova Scotia Liberal Party for several years. I just finished a 2-year term as the treasurer. I have volunteered for many Liberal events, and including being very involved in the last federal election. I sit on the board for We Care. I have volunteered extensively with the Ronald McDonald House, and I'm currently a member of the Student Advisory Committee for St. Stephen's Elementary, a school that's a stone throw from my house. But the big question, and the question I think is the most important for today, is the why. Well, simply, I give the Liberals the best opportunity for success in our next general election. The NDP is currently doing a disservice to our community and are no longer present. Over the past 2.5 weeks, I have called every single registered Liberal twice personally. And that is important to me because in politics, it's not about asking for support, it's about earning it. And earning respect and earning support is about having important conversations with people directly, getting critical feedback on ideas that I'm running on. Also, asking the important questions to the people in our community, what matters to them and what ideas do they have for our community. I've enjoyed our conversations. I've also enjoyed equally our debates. I enjoyed connecting with people and hearing what they love about the community, but also what needs to be improved, more importantly. I want to be your unwavering voice for Needham. And I would advocate just as fiercely for the people in my community as I do for my clients every day. We, as Liberals, have a unique opportunity ahead of us. We are heading into a general election without an incumbent MLA, which is important, and a new, bold Liberal government who is committed to new leadership and new initiatives. During my calls, I've heard from seniors who are concerned about living on a fixed income with costs increasing by the year, access to healthcare in isolation. I've spoken with new Canadians who are trying to engage their new communities and making connections that come with that. I've also spoken to parents who have had great difficulty trying to find the balance between working at home and educating their children online. However, most importantly, the thing I've taken away most is that you want and deserve representation that is present in the community. I can be there for you, and I can be that person. As I said, I've made over 1,000 phone calls in the last couple of weeks and had personal conversations with many of you, or left probably 2 or 3 voicemails on your answering machines. But I've talked about 4 issues that I think are really important. First, greater access to healthcare, more timely and effective approaches, including virtual approaches. Seniors need better healthcare. People who are having mental health difficulties need more timely care. The one thing that I think I brought up that no other candidate has is the importance of a sexual assault court, which is a trauma-informed, victim-centered approach to try to find something that is a more restorative approach to these challenges we face today, rather than the adversarial approach we have. I also want to see the ranking government continue and follow through on their commitment to addressing historical inequalities for our marginalized populations and the populations of African Nova Scotians in our community and in our province, especially in the criminal justice system. The African Nova Scotian Justice Initiative would involve more culturally competent probation officers, housing support workers, and court support workers to try to root out some of those historical injustices that are still present today. I know the government has already committed to many of these initiatives through the creation of the Office of Equity and Anti-Racism, spearheaded by Tony Ince, who actually grew up in our neighborhood on Robert Street. Also, the last big thing that I think all of the candidates have in common is the need for affordable housing. There's a lot of really great development happening in our neighborhood, but we need to balance that new development with a revolutionized approach to affordable housing. And we must work with all stakeholders to try to ensure that that new affordable housing stays affordable, because that's the number one thing that I've been hearing from people when I speak to them myself. So in closing, as I said, I've had a lot of really great conversations with people over the last 2 weeks personally. Politics is not about asking for support, but earning it. And my hope is that this speech, as well as the many calls I've made and great conversations I've had, have earned that respect and earned that support. And hopefully on May 10th and 11th, you decide that I'm the best representative for the Liberal Party. And I thank you for the time.